Race fans, welcome to the SSIL Presents the Reaper Series, of course, right here in the heart of Virginia. Richmond, the capital, also the spot for the high-flying, high-octane action tonight as the Reapers do business here, short track style this evening. Welcome, everybody, live here to Redline Racing Network. Up in the booth, of course, Matt Metler at the helm, bringing you all the action. 33 laps into this one as we unfortunately had to pause for inclement weather. Connections have been restabilized. Everything looking good thus far. We'll try to keep it intact for you guys for the rest of the way as Austin Cooper picking up right where he left off last week at times as he's out front leading in that number 12 machine. Let's take you to the front now. And that Legos machine is under heavy duress right now. Dakota camping right behind that Dark Horse Ford Mustang. Brandon, the other Cooper in the race, in that 18 right there as well. So Dakota Camper having to play offense and defense, and he's like, you know what? I'm grabbing another gear. I'm going to send it to the high side as he took a peek. Wasn't able quite to make the pass as he is lurking just off the back of the 12. In fact, let's go on board with the driver of the Deuce. Dakota Camper, first time I'm seeing him in competition here on the SSL side of things. Virginia native as well, you know he'd like to do big things here tonight as I think this is his very first start of the season. Just watch him how he's attacking this racetrack. Smooth entry into the corner, waiting on the throttle, and you can see he just feeds throttle ever so gently coming out of the corner. That's the key to success with these solid rear axle race cars. He's really getting that thing to rotate off the bottom nice too, where Austin Cooper in front of him, as you can see, is running about a half a lane up. Dakota really able. Ooh, 12 gonna blink out there. Not a good time to be doing that. And if you think the battle's not hot and heavy enough for you for the lead of this thing, go to the gearbox looking right out the back of the two. That's Brandon Cooper. He is there primed if Camper makes a mistake. In fact, like I said a couple minutes ago, Camper is probably having to play offense and defense right now. Not a good situation to be, especially here at Richmond. You don't want to be driving out the front windshield and the rear view mirror at the same time. But nonetheless, that's the position Camper has himself in right now. Two's got to be careful. He keeps leaving that door open. Brandon Cooper maybe thinking about sending it in there on the bottom. Go ahead and run you through the field as they run right now. Austin Cooper, he's your leader. So we're now working lap 41 out of 250. Dakota Camper runs in that second place position. However, he's thinking about going for the lead just as I decide to go through the field. He thought about it. The 12's going to slam the door shut. Brandon Cooper, again, rounds out the podium in that third place position. Bradley Bartley, this is going on a couple car lengths back. He's in fourth. Kevin Coleman up one spot from where he started. He's in a heated battle right now with the 84 of Kevin Coleman, who's in that sixth place position. Jeffrey Radke, he's in seventh. Look for him to be a factor in this one as he always gets better over the course of these things. Christopher Cash, the hood cook, chief, and bottle washer, he runs in that eighth place position. Jonathan Wiley owns ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Jared Hayes. Cody Sanderson, 11th. Robert Gerlard, 12th. And Brandon Kelly, who we're seeing coming off of pit road, multiple laps down in that 13th place position. We take it back up to the point. The front of this piece, Cooper, continues to lead over Camper. And the other Cooper, the Brandon version, there in third. So it's Camper caught in the middle of a Cooper sandwich. Now working lap 45 out of 250. And again, these guys running lap times right now about 20 in the high 23s, 23:63 last time by for the leaders. In fact, Camper and Cooper mirrored the same lap time. So they have about a second of fall off from their best, although those Goodyear Eagles starting to wear a little bit as these Dr. Feelgoods become Dr. Feelbads. This is the point in time in the run, depending on how you drove this car early, that's really going to show up in your longevity, the long tail speed you have out there on the racetrack. Is now Gillard, who is just in front of the leaders. He is now potentially looking to go a lap down here as he's going to pull the trigger. The leader looking to get by. Gillard gets way out of the way, doesn't even try to fight for the lead lap. He says, hey guys, you know what? You're better than me right now. I'm here for a good time. Not trying to wreck things at the front of this. Let me go ahead, let you guys get on by. I'll get back to doing my thing. And he always, another driver, knows how to get better over the course of the run. He'll never stop hunting, fighting, trying to find the best way around this racetrack for that 54 Whitehead entry. Again, this battle at the front has not subsided at all. Camper can't do it on the bottom. Now he's looking to the outside. He's done everything but throw the kitchen sink at Cooper. You know, behind this battle right here for the league, there's a moderate amount of spacing out there between the top 3, 4, 5. You know, the next best battle right here, Kevin Coleman and Jeffrey Radke, is now Radke sends it low. The 84 going to try and carry the momentum on the high side, squeeze the 3 down. The start-finish line, it's a John Force special. Still side-by-side drag race in this thing. A little tandem driving going on here. Can Radke slide up? No, the 84 is going to give him room, but he cannot slide up and complete the pass. And this is really going to hurt the 3's tires here, what he has left anyhow, I should say. Oh, they made contact right there as we go to the GoPro cam. This, of course, on board with Kevin Coleman, as now he's going to throw the Louisville slider on him. He's going to go for the crossover. These two putting on a clinic here for that 6th and 7th place position. Radke now going to get the spot. The Mooresville, North Carolina man. He is literally right there in the heart of NASCAR country, right there in Mooresville. Also, a lot of great furniture comes out of there if you guys are interested. If you want some authentic American furniture, not this, plyboard crap you get at Walmart, go check out some of these furniture stores in Mooresville, North Carolina. They got the good stuff. As now that battle settles as soon as as soon as it started, just about. However, Radke was working the 84 there for a while we were covering the battle there up front. Fortunately, Gillard continues to struggle here as now he runs in that 12th place position. Radke's going to get on by. Christopher Cash kind of all out there by his lonesome in that 8th place position. Last time by, ran a 24:14. Actually, he's one of the faster cars on the racetrack right now. The only problem is the leaders are about 13 seconds ahead of him, so about a half a lap. Ooh, he does a little slideways off the top there. And let's go on board with the cash man himself. Smooth Tennessee Whiskey Man. Out there on a Sunday drive in that 8th place position. Slid back a couple. Started in that 6th spot. Sixth place position. I'm sorry, excuse me. So he's now in 8th, well inside the top 10. Is Wiley in 9th. He's about 2 seconds back in Hayes. He's in the next county over. Now that 9 in front of him, Jonathan Wiley, unfortunately off the pace. He's already a lap down. That is not for position. The 9 already down pit road as well, I think. If he was coming off the pit road when we cut into coverage. Take it back to the point now. On board with your leader, Austin Cooper. Cooper has gotten by Dakota Camper, and so has Bradley Bartley. So Camper slots back to 4th. The Coopers lead here. The brother tandem, I believe. Because it's all Ford at the front of this thing. 2 dark horses lead the way. Then you have your first Chevrolet there in 3rd. And then another Chevrolet. In fact, it's Ford, Chevrolet. The first Toyota in line, you guessed who it was, Jeffrey Radke. They're in 6th. Now that 84, Kevin Coleman starting to come back on Radke. Perhaps he used too much of his stuff up trying to find a way around the 84. And I was a little concerned about that. But he could also just be managing his equipment here, just managing the gap, making sure he's back far enough, and whenever he feels he's a little too close for comfort, picks the pace up a little bit, and Radke does as such right there. His last time by at 24:21. Again, at the helm, Austin Cooper, Brandon Cooper, Bradley Bartley. Those are the 3 podiums as they run right now. Everyone kind of migrating to the top of this thing. I shouldn't say the top all the way around, but going to that second lane here at Richmond. Ooh, the 48 almost gave the 18 the business. Barney the flagman doing his thing, keeping his eye on competition. Quick lap around this thing. You can see all the leaders starting to get bottled back together here. The 48, Bradley Bartley, looking like he did a great job managing his tires here as that car continues to get faster the longer we run. The 46, Dalton McKinney, is here in this thing as well now. I know it's single file here, conveyor belt style, but we are racked and stacked on top of each other. One of these cars inside the top 3 or 4 makes a mistake, and it's going to be a position change, if not a couple. Is the only cars off the lead lap right now, the 54 of Gillard, 1 lap down, and then the 9 of Kelly, 2 laps off the pace. You know, just as I said a couple laps ago, we were migrating to the top or the high side. These drivers have brought it right back down to Eaton on the bottom through the corners. Especially that 18. I mean, he has been right there either on or just off that yellow line pretty much this entire run. Camper, who had fallen off a little bit, he is starting to crawl back into the picture. Probably let his tires cool down a little bit as he was just doing everything he could, trying to get the lead earlier in this run. I just really think he paid the price for it, or the premium in the tire department. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. Go on board with the 48 of Cooper. You can see he has, or I'm sorry, for the 48 of Bartley, he's got the 18 right in front of him. Take a peek out the back door. Ooh, big wiggle there. The 12 got big time loose. Now Cooper starts to close back in on Austin. That was saying, though, look out the back door. And voila, no breathing room. You got Bradley, Bartley right there in third. And then you got side-by-side action here. Camper was trying to make a pass on McKinney as we were on board with the 18. Ooh. Then you have a car there fighting for his life. I believe that's Jared Hayes in the 17. Darrell Waltrip throwback, and it is. Hayes already, Hayes is not off the pace, but we do have a stage caution. First stage in the books tonight. That, of course, gonna go to the 12 of Austin Cooper. Your stage 1 winner. So congratulations to him. He's going to get some points to go in that column, as well Brandon Cooper, who slots in second, Bradley Bartley third, Dalton McKinney comes home fourth in the stage, fifth belongs to Dakota Camper, Jeffrey Radke, Kevin Coleman, Christopher Cash, and Jared Hayes round out the drivers that are going to go ahead and get some points. As now everyone comes down to pit road. We're going to step aside, go pay some bills, but you guys aren't going to miss any action as we're going to go all-out coverage right here on Redline Racing Network. again, as that will bring the caution flag out nonetheless. Brandon Cooper continuing to lead here. Bradley Bartley second, Dalton McKinney third, Dakota Camper fourth, your pole sitter, Jonathan Wiley, in fifth, Jeffrey Radke sixth, Christopher Cash seventh, Jared Hayes eighth, Cody Sanderson ninth, and Kevin Coleman in the 84 rounds out the top 10 as he's coming off of pit road. So he's going to put some Dr. Feelgoods on his race car. However, he's going to have some cars to pass to get up where he was previously. But having some new shoes should help the cause here. We re-rack them, restack them, get ready to do it again here. The 18 kind of lighted up, making the pace car look like it was starting outside the front row. There we go. That looks a little bit better. You wait now for that pace car to pull off a pit lane. And it does. Go on board here with your leader for the restart here. Green flag back in the air, back on the gas, and these glorious V8s come roaring back to life. Slings it down into the corner. He's going to go past that double yellow, getting every piece of that racing surface he possibly can. However, if you look out back, though, there's the angry Hornets right there. Dalton McKinney whip it up a little bit there, buddy, from Clarksville. Threat level Midnight Motorsports entry. The 48 of Bradley Bartley getting a little too close for comfort. And we're side by side. Dakota Camper, or Wiley and Radke going at it once again. Camper has got a mouthful of that 11 of Wiley. And he's turning that Toyota down to the bottom. Oh, he loses a lot of momentum there. You see him slide. Got loose, and that's going to basically take the pressure off for just a moment as Wiley's got to reload, reset, and do it all over again. He had the position. He just couldn't carry the momentum off. That car got loose. Super said, I don't like this. And he had to let off the loud pedal there and give the position back to Camper there as they run fourth and fifth. Go back to Radke here, who's going up against 69-time Christopher Cash himself. So this battle stretches out, dwindles down here just for the moment. Want to take this time to welcome everyone here on Redline Racing Network. You guys got it tuned into the right YouTube dial. Now join the right family. Come home for all the high-flying, high-octane, high-energy racing action right here on Redline Network. We'd appreciate everyone if you could help us hit that next milestone, which is 1,000 subscribers. That would mean a heck of a lot to me and the rest of us here. If you could do so, support the cause, join the family, and help us make that a reality. We would certainly appreciate it right here on Redline Racing Network. Again, we're pretty much single file from nose to tail here. But these cars are in close proximity of each other, especially at the front. As Dalton McKinney now is going to whip it to the lead. He's going to carry the torch for the first time tonight. So he's whipping it up at the front. Cooper, the Brandon version, takes a peek inside. Take a look at the weather here right now. It is basically can't get any better than this. Wind's not the elusive 2, it's at 3. That's different. Not a lot, but it's different. 69 degrees ambient air temperature. Haha, you're funny there, Christopher Cash. Temperature also the same as your car number. About as dry as the Sahara. 24% relative humidity. Overcast track temp. 83 degrees. So these cars making all the grip and have all the power right now. Pull up the telemetry on your leader, Dalton McKinney, in your bottom right-hand corner there. You can see he's got it in fourth gear there. You get 4 gears in this race car. The 5th only in the next gen. H pattern the way it should be. Gets down to about 89 miles an hour there in the corner. He wastes no time picking up the loud pedal while these Goodyears still got some bite left in them. Now working lap 105 of 250. And I'm getting a report that we're starting to lose the stream here a little bit, so we're going to step aside to commercial. We'll be right back as we try to stabilize the issue. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Richmond. We do apologize for that brief delay there as we were trying to restabilize our connection. And it looks like things are favorable and stable enough to bring coverage back in. So nonetheless, here we are. Let's go ahead and get those graphics back up on the screen for you guys at home. We're now working lap 125 of the scheduled 250 laps here tonight from Richmond. See Robert Gillard there. He's in jeopardy of going, unfortunately, another lap down. Dalton McKinney there, your leader. Going to give these guys plenty of racing room once again. You go down the front stretch there, the preferred line does bring it up towards the wall there, but he's going to go way up top. Is the 18 of Cooper all over McKinney. But I'll tell you what, these two have pretty much checked out from everyone else's. I mean, you got to go way, way back. You get Dakota Camper there in third. More laps to rerun the further he gets. There's Radke in fourth. Kevin Coleman in fifth. Remember, he pitted last on lap 89. So he's got about 11 lap newer tires, but he's only been able to get back to the top five. Coleman, Radke, and company about 4 seconds behind the leader here. Dalton McKinney. As Cooper now backs off just a tick, as Gillard does indeed go another lap down, as he is now 2 laps off the pace. Christopher Cash runs in that 7th place position. Jonathan Wiley there in the 11th car, or the number 11 car in that 8th place position. Let's go on board with him. Give him some showtime. And again, only 13 cars in the field tonight, so we're going to try and go ahead and show the love, spread the wealth around. Westville, Oklahoma, from the heart of tornado country. Hell of a profile picture there. It is like somebody you want to get into it with. Go on board with the 11. You see Cash way, way up the hill there. He just went up there to make sure he got a heck of a run off the corner, secure that position. Wiley is not going to give up. He's going to keep Cash honest here. You can see Cash going way, way up the hill, getting that big run off the corner. But that's only going to last so long until you burn that right rear out. See if Wiley changes his lineup here a little bit. He goes up the hill a little more there. Ooh, he got loose off. You see him have to correct. Ooh, big time loose there. He kind of missed the corner. Got a little too far down there on the flatlands. That's going to cost him a couple tenths that lap. And a 23.90 to Christopher Cash's 23.72. And you can see the Cash man getting away with all the money there. Oh, Wiley in the wall. Now, Austin Cooper, he was up there leading, battling for the lead. Last down pit road, lap 88. And he finds himself just inside the top 10 in 9th. See, he has a little bit of damage back to that race car. And I can assure you he had some help with that damage. Looks like a Camaro left the mark on the back of that dark horse. Oh, he gets big time loose off the corner. A little bit of a Code Brown moment there for the 12th. Moving on back here to Hayes. Get a close-up of this race car here. Check out the attention to detail here with the Western Auto Darrell Waltrip throwback. Brings back a lot of memories from being a kid, seeing this card out there, especially at Richmond. One of the nicer paint schemes in the field, in my personal opinion. But nonetheless, that is a great-looking Chevrolet Camaro as Hayes runs in that 10th place position. Let's go on board with him. So we're on board with Hayes. You can see the 11 of Jonathan Wiley going down pit road. That's going to bump Hayes to 9th. Mr. Jersey Shore himself from Pittsgrove, New Jersey. He's here for the party, a Orlando Lambert song. He likes his country music. Robert Gillard in the 54, Whitehead Racing. Getting better as he goes throughout the race. His lap times are picking up as well. Good over the long run. I know these short tracks typically aren't his flavor. Really good at Dover, though. That's his jam. Oh, he gets a piece of the wall there. Sorry, buddy. Broadcaster's curse. Let's go ahead and widen things out for you, my man. But you know that Bass Pro Shops Toyota is fishing for a top 10. If he can hold on right where he is, he can do so. On to get Brandon Kelly. Another Chevrolet, the Camaro, just outside the top 10 in that 11th place position. Qualified 9th, back 2 spots here. So we are now past halfway. Working lap 144 of 250. We're going to do the same for him. We're going to go on board. Watch him do business inside the cockpit of his race car. Ooh, easy there, buddy. Easy, Kelly. Again, this car not as structurally sound. I shouldn't say sound, but not as tank-like in some respects to as the next-gen car. You go up there and get the wall a little bit, but you don't want to go up there and beat it up too much. See a lot of these drivers fighting a loose-off condition, very indicative of Richmond. Oh, hold on to it, bud. Having a hard time putting the power down. Cody Sanderson out of the race car. Blink if you want me, folks at home. Just saying, that's what's on the shirt. As we went through the field, here we go back to the front. Taking a look here at the interval. As Dalton McKinney gets going. Continues to walk it out over Brandon Cooper. That interval growing to almost 2 seconds. As we wrote lap 148 into history books. As we're following along with the leader, Dalton McKinney. Threat level very high right now. McKinney now going to put the 17 of Hayes another lap down here. Hayes going to go to the top of the racetrack, give the 46 the preferred line here. McKinney does not have to force the issue, and that's going to be the stage. So stage number 2 in the books. Hayes escapes, going down another lap. But what a dominating performance from the driver of the 46, Dalton McKinney. Drivers getting points in stage 2. Obviously McKinney. Brandon Cooper there in the 18. Dakota Camper making his, I believe, his first start here in the Reaper Series in 3rd. Kevin Coleman 4th. Jeffrey Radke in 5th. 6th belongs to Bradley Bartley. Austin Cooper. 7th, Christopher Cash doing Christopher Cash things in 8th. Jared Hayes 9th. And Robert Gillard in 10th. Well, that stage is over. We're going to step aside, pay some bills, and we'll be back right here to Richmond momentarily, right here on Redline Racing Network. race fans, welcome back to Redline Racing Network as the SSIL presents the Reaper Series here from the state of Virginia, right here, or the state of Virginia, right here in Richmond, the place we're doing battle tonight. Stopping by in the YouTube chat, want to give a shout out to Big Nasty. You can interpret that a lot of different ways. Love the name, by the way. Thanks for coming by as he's cheering on Brad, I believe, in the 48 machine. So we want to thank him tonight stopping by the broadcast. So we're currently under caution here. Go ahead and get the graphics back up on the screen for you folks at home once again. The Coopster, the leader. Lights out on the pace car. Should be going back green this time by. If you guys are wondering why we're under caution while we were away, Dalton McKinney. Actually, I take that back. Must be a glitch here with the replay team. I believe he just came down pit road there. It shouldn't register. Oh, he spun out under caution. What in the world? You don't see that every day. Well, we're not going to highlight an accident here too much, make it look that much worse, but nonetheless there, McKinney, things going wrong there on pit road entrance. We go back to the live side of things. Green flag back in the air. Brandon Cooper back to the front, but the battle is hot and heavy for that second place position as Coleman's got it cooking on the outside. 12 of Cooper throws the block. The Austin version, by the way. Got two Coopers here at the front. Brandon Cooper. There's a tongue twister. Brandon Cooper, Austin Cooper. The Austin boys lead. P1, P2. Then you got Kevin Coleman there in third. And I'm going to find my way into the top three before this thing is over. Every single race. Jeffrey Radke up to fourth. And looking for more as he's diving underneath Kevin Coleman. Let's go on board with the three. On board with Radke as he goes to work on the 12. Throw his telemetry up there for you guys as well. Oh, he makes some contact with the 12. So Coleman has third. But if we flip the camera to the back door, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. Radke right there. The Supra is lurking. And in fact, we're right back to how we started this race off with the top three, top four starting to really get heated on top of each other. And my God, we have a pile up, a stack up behind the driver of the three. Let's go to that view. Here we are, 2 by 2, Noah's Ark situation. Oh, this is really close quarters racing right here as we got a cluster 3 wide at the line. Oh, get skinny. 2 by 2, that's the diamond formation. That's not good. Oh, the 48 gets loose off the drop and he dumps him. Now, he didn't mean to dump him, but sometimes, in the words of Phil Collins, I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Unless we are under caution for incident. As Bradley Bartley got bonked. Going back to the eye in the sky here. 48's going to get loose off the top, and he's going to come down and give the whamma-jamma to the 46. Dalton McKinley got popped. The front of that card is absolutely destroyed. We're going to go ahead and wind this one back one more time. We're going to slow it down, and we're going to go on board here. Everything's good. Everything's fine. You see the contact there, and that's just going to shoot him right down the racetrack. Going to try to save it. Puts the correction into the car. And here comes the inside wall. Going to make contact there. Things happen quick, fast, in a hurry. Here, where the Virginia is for lovers, and it's also for racers. SSIL presents the Xfinity Reaper Series under caution. So what do you do now? Come back down pit road again? Kevin Coleman last down pit road. Lap 152. Brandon Cooper there in second, 173. In fact, both Coopers, the rest of the top six lapped 173. So Coleman on the older shoes, still getting it done. But at some point, there has to be a tire advantage shift to the Cooper boys. Camper in that mix as well. Now, at this time, I want to shout out a member of the Strategic Family Alliance, our official custom paints partner, Black Magic. You folks at home sick and tired of the same design you see on Trading Paints, just to have the colors switched around. It's the same old template, same story, yada, yada, yada. Well, get out of the static. Go see the boys at Black Magic. They can help bring your realization to life. And remember, it's good for 2/10 if it's from Black Magic wrapped on the race car. Tell them the boys over at the Reaper Xfinity Series sent you. They'll hook you up with a great price as well. Again, that Black Magic for all those one-of-a-kind, authentic designs. Get out of the static. Go see Black Magic. Coleman, racked, restacked, ready to rock and roll. Going to go on board with Austin Cooper outside front row for this restart. Now, he does have the fresher tires here. Is it enough to make the pass on the outside? Geico restart zone. All the 84 schnookers him on the restart. Well, so much for that idea. Not that Austin can't run him back down, but I mean, that was just a brilliant restart there from Cooper. Now he's going to send it in there on the bottom. Kevin Coleman to his outside. There he goes, the 12. Austin Cooper is going to take it to the house. Back to the lead, and that's going to open the door. Come one, come all. And Brandon says, as Austin, you can do it. I can do it too. The 84, now he's going to come under siege from Camper as well, who is squatting right behind him. So just like that, Coleman has went from the lead back to fourth. It's Cooper, Camper. Actually, everyone in the top 4 has a C for the last name. Cooper, Camper, Coleman. Little brother on brother one-on-one action now. 2 dark horses going at it. Ford on Ford, then you have Chevrolet, Toyota. So all manufacturers being represented well here inside the top 5. Let's go back to the Hornets' Nest. Radke just in front of the McKinney-Coleman battle. There's the 46 making quick work. You know, the last thing Coleman wanted to see was that caution there, and he is paying the piper with those older tires on that race car. As he continues to drop slots. Now back to 5th as it's heating back up here at the front. They almost touch coming off the corner. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Into the 3-4 complex. Side by side, who's it going to be at the line? The 12 should prevail on the high side and does by a 10th. This reminds me so much of the Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch battles back in the day, or not that long ago, I should say. There's certainly been a lot of good ones over the years. Go on board with Coop. So, Cooper, the Austin version, we slide back one to Brandon in the 18, and he is there. And this is kind of deja vu all over again from earlier in stage 1. When Cooper, when AC led, and Brandon was right there knocking on the back door. And here we are once again at lap 187. Go to the nose of that dark horse, and you can see he is working just mere inches off the bumper of that Mustang. You know, this all at 130, 140 miles an hour before. They're jumping hard on the binders into these corners. About 89 to 93 corner speed. The lowest point here is on fresher tires, of course. In top 5, top 4 especially, stacked right on top of each other. As we take this time, we're going to go through the field once again as we approach lap 190 of the scheduled 250. I think you got some on yourself there, Ben. Before we do that, let's take a great look here at this battle. This from the back of AC's car. 2 Camaros side by side. It's Mr. Whip It Up in the 46 and Camper. On the outside. Oh, he's bracing hard, real hard here. Oh, they make contact. They still don't have it sorted. It's like these drivers are listening. They don't want us to go through the field here at the broadcast. Every time we try to do, they turn it up. Again, Austin Cooper leads. He is your leader with his brother in close quarters in that second place position. 1 position up from where he started. That's good for P2. Currently in third. He's been there a majority of the night. There is Dakota Camper making his debut start here in the spooky simulated iRacing League. Dalton McKinney runs in that 4th place position. Radke rounds out your top 5. Biggest mover of the race, up 6 spots. Christopher Cash Farthest four as he's been in a while. He's in that 6th place position. 7th belongs to Jared Hayes in the Darrell Waltrip throwback scheme. 8th, Kevin Coleman, who was going at it with Brandon Kelly. And as I said just moments ago, Brandon Kelly in that 9th place position. In 10th, off the pace coming down pit road here, Robert Gillard and Bradley Bartley. Jonathan Wiley and Cody Sanderson have all put it on the hauler. Be focused back on the front. And here comes the caravan of leaders. And it's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 strapped on top of each other. Not vertically, but in a line. Here comes the 46 peeking on the inside. He's going to eat hard on the bottom, just as the 18 does the same thing. He thought about making a pass there, but the 12 keeping him honest. He's not going to give him the room to slide up the racetrack. 3 wide here. Camper, don't do it. The last time he went 3 wide, we know what happened. Smartly, that veteran backs out of it. Still plenty of time here. North of 50 laps to go. Here we go. Slingshot move. He's going to take it hard to the bottom. Just don't know, with having some laps on these tires now, if he's going to be able to get underneath Radke without moving him. And once you deploy the comb horn, come one, come all. Do one to others as they do. Oh my God, here we go. Someone just ate hot garbage. Caution out on the racetrack. And Austin Cooper, who had a miraculous save as well, but still, watch what happens here. He goes to send it in there and outbreak the 12, and he gets yeeted. How does he not make contact with the wall there? What a miraculous piece of driving from Austin Cooper. Probably not happy with his brother right now as we slow things down. We go on board here. He comes down to block, and his brother is there as he sent it in. Look at all that steering wheel input. He's trying to save it, slides up the racetrack. The 18 goes on by. The 46 was there, and he just locks that race car down, does not make contact with the wall. No one else gets involved. I can never get that lucky. And as the caution flag is out, we're going to step away, take our final break of the evening, and we'll be back for the conclusion of the SSIL Presents Reaper Xfinity Series right here from Richmond International Raceway. race fans, welcome back to Redline Racing Network as the Spooky Simulated iRacing League presents the Xfinity Reaper Series live from Richmond. As we are deep into this thing, as caution was just out on the racetrack, back to the green flag side of things once again, and picking right up where he left off. No surprise, look who's out front. I told you there was a strong possibility the longer we run, and here he is. Right down when it starts to get important, Jeffrey Radke and the Toyota TRD, the slogan, let's go places, and that's what he's doing. Big things popping, little things stopping. The three right now is, I don't know how this guy does it. I mean, he was running fifth, sixth most of the race and slowly but surely chipping away at it, and here's Radke with the lead. Unbelievable, the no quit in this driver, folks. I'm telling you, he is fun to watch. Let's get the graphics back up for you folks at home hanging on for the ride. Charles Whitehead, owner of Whitehead Racing, stopping by in the chat. We appreciate it, brother. Hope you're having a good night. Is Radke from Mooresville, North Carolina. He's the man with the plan right now. It's only 30 laps remain, and for the first time in the clean air, that Toyota carries the torch. Oh, right behind him, Austin Cooper. He got into the wall. That's not going to help things in the 12 camp. Obviously, Austin Cooper pushing really hard right now, as he was a main factor in a majority of this race. Last time by, Radke, fastest car on the racetrack, second fastest. This man right here, the Dark Horse Mustang with a 23.09 to Radke's 22.88. Absolutely incredible what's happening late here. And I'm telling you guys at home, it's never over until it's over. Just when you think you have it figured out, it's done. Throw a nail in the coffin. Things happen. It's short track racing. And shockingly and suddenly, AC, Austin Cooper is in second. Cooper, the Brandon version's in third. Absolutely wild. You know, these laps are going to click by quick, fast, and in a hurry, especially when we're going around here at just over 23 seconds a lap. You know, and he's got himself a comfortable breathing distance. As you guys want to see just how far up the road he is from Austin Cooper, we're going to go ahead and look out the nose of the 12, and you can see he's got a whole corner on. There he is, way up the road, already going into the turns 1 and 2 complex, halfway through the corner. That's what a 1.7 second gap looks like out on the racetrack, folks. If you want to talk about the competition behind Cooper, well, let's go to the gearbox. You can see he's kind of in a similar situation. He's out there on a Sunday drive. No immediate threat. You have to go all the way back another 2.3 seconds to Brandon Cooper, as the battle for third is heating up between himself and on another recovery drive, Kevin Coleman in the 84. Now Coleman runs in that fourth place position. Fifth belongs to Jared Hayes in the 17. And I think he's right there with Radke for biggest performance improvement of the race, as he was fighting to stay on the lead lap at times. And here he is. He's got that Darrell Waltrip throwback inside the top 5 in fifth. Mr. Whip It Up, he was leading at one point tonight, finds himself in sixth. Dakota Camper, who was inside the top 2, top 3, all the way back in 7th. Brandon Kelly off the racetrack. Christopher Cash now, as well as he's being scored in 9th. Robert Gillard, the Whitehead Racing entry, gave it his best, but nonetheless just not the right night, time, and place for him in 10th. Bradley Bartley, 11th. Jonathan Wiley, 12th. And Cody Sanderson, 13th. As we take it now back to the front of this piece, Jeffrey Radke. Absolutely incredible. You know, the weather really hasn't changed much from where we started as we pull that up on screen for you folks. 5-mile-an-hour winds, 69 degrees ambient air temperature, which just so happens to match the number of Christopher Cash's car. Humidity's up a little bit. Track temp, it's like perfect, 86 degrees. I mean, I guess it could be a couple degrees warmer, but, I mean, as far as grip goes, once you run a couple laps, I mean, you're not going to do any better than that. As Radke continues to be the fastest car out there on the racetrack. Pull up his telemetry for you, bottom right-hand corner. As he wants to see this thing stay lean and green the rest of the way. You want to make him madder than a Keebler elf that got demoted to Fudge Packer. Throw out a caution flag and just watch the eruption out of the 3 camp. Let's go on board with the man who's getting it done right now, carrying the torch. Up to about 143 miles an hour before he gets on the binders. Turns it right down to the bottom, right where you want to be. Very controlled on the throttle, off the corner. That's what you have to do, especially in the solid rear axle car. Similar story here in the 3-4 complex as he sees the start-finish line. Check another lap. Write that one in the history books. Now 16 to go. Just an unbelievable drive here by Radke once again. This guy always finds a way to turn virtually nothing into something. And tonight, I mean he could come away here with the dub. I mean, he's still walking it out. He is getting going. Austin Cooper continues to fall back, who was, you know, one of the fastest cars out there on the racetrack at times. Heck, he's led a lot of laps. And let go my Lego now finds himself in second. I mean, you can see the time delta here. Actually, I'm sorry, that's over third. Here we go. You can just see how Radke is consistently faster than Cooper. That gap just keeps widening out. Pit strategy. There you go. There's the top 8 drivers. And again, the biggest mover of the race also happens to be your leader as well. So if you're on top of the pit box, this seems to be the winning call with 12 laps to go here. You know, don't want to count the chickens before the, you know, comes home to roost per se. Again, want to take this opportunity to thank all the partners, all the sponsors, all the men and women that make these broadcasts possible. Certainly, it's a lot more than just the drivers out there on the racetrack that make this whole thing sink and run together, work together. Obviously, our official partners, including Black Magic, our strategic alliance member, Also, Team Watson Racing Setups, the official setup shop of Redline Racing Network. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, about the Rattler 300 coming up here in 2 days. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I wish I would have had a graphic for it, but I don't. But, you know, any one of these drivers can definitely get you pointed in the right direction. If you have TJ Hanley from THD Designs on your Discord, get with him. We can get you into the Discord for that race. It's only $1 to enter, $50 to the winner. Going to have all kinds of prizes given out. Going to have some free, a custom setup, free paint, and more. And that's the Rattler 300. That's right around the corner. This Wednesday, session opens at 8 p.m. I'm told the sponsor also covered the first 40 entries. So chances are you could have a paid entry just waiting on you. The only thing you have to do is get in there, tell TJ or Ronnie Sizemore that you want to be a part of the show, and they will get you in. 7 laps remain for Radke. He laying him down and clicking him off too. I mean, he's the fastest car out there by a lot. And, people say, oh, clean air doesn't mean nothing on a short track. Well, yes, it does. Just ask Radke. Just being able to be out there, not having to cover your hind end, overdrive the corner. When you have this type of a gap, I mean, it makes things a lot easier. Austin Cooper in second in that 12th car. In fact, it's the brother tandem in second and third. You have AC and BC. Austin Cooper second, third, and Brandon Cooper's third. So they're going to round out the final 2 podium positions. And remember, they had a little history here earlier in the race. The 18s tried to send it in on the corner, snookered the 12, had an amazing save, went up the hill, didn't hit anything. Still scratching my head on that one. Can't figure out how he saved it, but he did. Coleman having a good showing here in 4th. McKinney runs 5th. In 6th, he was a lot higher earlier in this race on the scoring pylon. That's Dakota Camper making his inaugural start here in the series, I believe. Hayes in the 17th, 7th. Currently slotting in that 8th place position. Brandon Kelly, the rest of the cars are out right now. And as we are 2 to go, we're going to go back to the point for Jeffrey Radke. Popsicle sticks in the air. And at the start-finish line, 1 lap to go. We are racing back to checkers as he comes out of turns 1 and 2. There's your leader, Jeffrey Radke, going down the backstretch for the final time tonight. Into the turns 3 and 4 complex. Here he comes off the corner. And at the start-finish line, Barney's got the checkered flag in the air. Pulling a Houdini on the field. Mr. Where did he come from? Is Jeffrey Radke with the win here in Richmond. Cooper, the Austin version, comes home second. Brandon Cooper third. Kevin Coleman fourth. And rounding out the top 5, Dalton McKinney. What a race these guys put on. A great heck of a performance here tonight. But it was Jeffrey Radke as he's burning it down, getting the rest of the good out of those Goodyears, who just finds a way to make things happen. And he does it in a big way here in Richmond. Remember, drivers, I do not have the proper permissions. I cannot see any of the driver discords. I can only see the top 3, the Care Center, and the ones of you guys that happen to pop in to the free agent chat now and then. So now as I await these drivers to pop in the top 3, the Care Center free agents, one of them, We send it back to the eye in the sky here. As we'll give them another moment here to see if they pop into the chat. You know what? While I do that, let's go ahead here and pull up the final results here from Richmond. It was one heck of a race tonight for these drivers. There are the results on the screen for you guys. Again, from Threat Level Midnight Motorsports, Jeffrey Radke gets the win. Austin Cooper comes home second. The other Cooper, Brandon, in third. That's your podium. Kevin Coleman comes home fourth. Rounding out your top five is Dalton McKinney in the 46. Just inside the top 10, Dakota Camper in sixth in his debut. Seventh belongs to Jared Hayes. In eighth, Brandon Kelly slotting in ninth. The Cashman, the HMFIC, Mr. 69 time, Christopher Cash himself. Robert Gillard, 10th. Brandon Bartley, 11th. 12 belongs to Jonathan Wiley. And rounding out the 13 starters that took the field tonight, Who's Your Daddy Racing? Very crafty there. Cody Sanderson. So now let's switch it back to Discord here. And it looks like we now have our top finishers. When we have our top finishers now in the free agent chat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back right here on Redline Racing Network for post-race coverage of the SSIL Presents Reaper Series live from Richmond with the top three drivers of our race. First up, Jeffrey Radke. Matt, up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yes, sir.
Man, you have not only been exciting to watch, man, but how are you able each and every race to just find a way to get better? Doesn't matter if you're on a short track, a mile and a half of super speedway. I mean, I consistently, or we, I should say, as a whole, the viewers at home as well, you just always seem to elevate yourself and find a way to be there at the end. And tonight, you punched all the way through to victory lane. Talk to me about your drive this evening, man.
It's always pretty hectic. You never know when work's gonna keep me too late, and then I won't get much practice. So I kind of use the first two-thirds of the race there as practice, and check my tire wear and lap times fall off, and then buckle down for the third stage and see what I can do.
Yeah, you make it sound so easy, but I know it's a lot harder than that, man. But nonetheless, you guys always find a way to make it happen. You got some momentum on your side now. You got some wins. Does this change how you approach the rest of the season moving forward?
No, probably not. Not till playoffs start. Just going to be steady, consistent, try to rack up as many points as possible going into that first race at Kansas.
Well, hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to have points aplenty. I mean, before I cut you loose, let you go celebrate with the team, who do you want to thank who helps it get it done on that Toyota-powered number 3?
Genesis Technologies, Threat Level Midnight. Me and Dalton work together pretty well. Try to bounce stuff off each other and make each other better as the races go on. So we're missing Corey tonight, but hopefully he'll be there for the next one.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, always finds a way to be the best he possibly can be at the end, and he went up and took one from the Cooper boys as Jeffrey Radke wins at Richmond. Congratulations, man. We'll let you get back to your team. And then again, I mentioned the Cooper boys. Austin Cooper, Matt, up in the booth. You got me, sir. So I believe we have Austin Cooper with us now. Matt in the booth, you got me, bud. All right, doesn't seem like Austin is available just yet, so we're going to now swing it over to Brandon. Brandon, driver of the 8, you got me.
Yep, I got you.
Brandon, talk to me about that race tonight, man. You and your brother, I believe that's your brother. I mean, you guys were putting on a clinic at the beginning of this race, most of it. You were right there. And then talk to me about that dive bomb move that kind of went wrong.
Yeah, I think it was a good race overall. We had really good pace. Had a few slip ups throughout the race. I think at the beginning of stage 2, I had a slip up, and then at the beginning of stage 3, not going to point out any names here, but I
Understand.
was faster than my brother, and he was slowing everybody up and just would not let me pass. But I think we would have had a better chance if that would have been the case. I did let him win stage 1, so I figured he would have given me something in return, and he didn't. But I still love him. But other than that, man, I think it was a good race. Just did not have enough there at the end to make any ground or anything like that. Used up all my tires to get through the field, but we'll look for it next week.
I mean, don't be too hard on yourself there, man. I know you mentioned slip up, man. It's Richmond. A lot of these drivers had slip ups at times, especially when you're trying to play offense and defense, at various points and times of the race, man. It's going to happen. You mentioned, give and take out there on the racetrack. I agree with you there. That's something I like to see, especially, when it's family, you would think it would reciprocate. Sometimes other people, though, have different plans, and nothing is guaranteed. You mentioned you had a lot of speed in that race car, and it certainly showed out on the racetrack tonight. Unfortunately, it didn't end how you wanted, but you still netted a great end result. Before you reload, get ready for next week. Who do you want to thank who helps you get it done?
I want to thank my grandma. She's the best woman in this world that I know. The sweetest woman. I would like to thank my brother Austin. As much as I am mad at him, me and him still get this done every week. Want to give a shout out to my brother Trey. He's going through some health issues right now, but we're gonna overcome it. Other than that, man, I think that's it.
Well, first and foremost, thoughts and prayers to your brother Trey. Whatever he is battling, whatever he is going through, we wish him a speedy recovery and the best luck in his battles right here from everyone at Redline Racing Network. Obviously, family, very important to driver of the 8. That is Brandon Cooper. Thanking even his brother, who did him a little dirty out there on the racetrack. I'm sure they'll talk about it at dinner. But hey, blood is thicker than water. Shout out to Grandma as well. That's the driver of the 8.
See you next week, Matt.
Hey, you have a good evening, man. And thank you for joining us here in the Redline Racing broadcast booth, brother. Have a great one.
Yeah, you too. Also, like to thank you, man. You're killing it. But good night.
Hey, I thank you, man. I appreciate the kind words, bud. And let's see here. We've interviewed our top 3. I believe the other Cooper declined. I'm getting a notification here that he declined the interview, which is perfectly fine. I understand why. Little heated on-track battle there with his brother. Totally understandable. Got Jared Hayes over in the care center. Oh, looks like I got one more person up here in the booth with me. However, I cannot see your name. Driver, identify yourself. Who am I talking to? Okay. Well, we gave him an opportunity. Unfortunately, I cannot see his name, but there is someone else here in the booth with me. Is anyone else here looking for an interview? I believe in the infield care center. Jared Hayes, Matt up in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, man, I see you're over here in the care center. Just got done with some interviews. Thought I'd jump in here and have a chat with you for a moment, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure.
Well, hey, man, talk to me about that race tonight. Did it kind of go according to plan, or did you guys kind of have to change some things on the fly throughout the course of that 250-lap run tonight?
Well, that's the first time I've run Richmond, and so I wasn't really too sure on the line to run, and obviously what I was doing was not the way to go. I was fighting to stay on the lead lap coming to both staged breaks, and worked out coming on the on stage 3 with about 20 to go. I found myself up to 5th, but so I was trying a little something different, but that ended up not working either, and I burned the tires off with about 10 to go, and dropped back to 7th. So, but hey, top 10 points day, I'll take it. So
Hey, man, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, first time at Richmond and coming away, top 10. It does not get much better than that. You pointed out to yourself, you burn the tires off of it. It's so easy to do at this racetrack, especially when you're coming down there to the end, battling as hard as you did. I thought you made great progress throughout the race. I seen you fighting, trying to find the best line for you, and I know you're up on the wheel getting it done, man. But tip of the hat to you for coming home with the top 10. Well, I got you up here. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors you want to shout out, bud?
just got to thank my buddy Wes that I practice with, and then of course LP, Little Peter. She gives me some pointers here and there, and probably gotta better thank my girlfriend for letting me come down here and race all night like this. So
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, how about a shout out for Jared Hayes tonight? First time at Richmond. Not only does he survive with all 4 corners on the race car, he comes home with a top 10. At the end of the day, I'll say that's a good day, my friend. We wish you all the best right here at Redline Racing Network, as that's going to go ahead and wrap up the broadcast coverage for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I apologize for doing the interviews with our logo screen in the background. We had a weather incident right near the end of this thing, and wanted to make sure we got those interviews done. So make sure you stay tuned. And next week, as the Reaper Series continues, you know the time, Monday night in prime time, 9 p.m. Make sure you come back. And as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all the favor, ladies and gentlemen, don't play in traffic. We'll see you next time right here on